An apology and a comparison. Coming up next on Horsepower Everyday. What's going on, good people? It's your boy LT with Horsepower Everyday. First off, let me start with an apology. I know it has been a bit of time since I've posted a video, and the truth is I've been dealing with some family stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not bad family stuff, it's good family stuff. My family is expanding. I'm looking forward to it. That's basically it for that part. However, I do apologize for not posting up videos. I've had some really good ideas of things that I wanted to talk about, I wanted to post about. However, the minute I wanted to get something done, something else came up. I got a little distracted, family stuff, and hey, that's the kind of stuff that happens. No big deal. But I am back to you with another video, and my current situation has actually led me to my current video I'm having with you right now. We're talking, we're gonna have a little nice discussion because I want to do a comparison, because I'm thinking, don't get me wrong, I'm not getting rid of my car, and for the record, I am going to do a video of my car shortly so everybody can see what it is. I got to clean it up a little bit. Plus, there were a couple things that I wanted to get before I did the video. However, that's not really going to happen. I do have a light issue that I at least want to get fixed. One of my headlights just recently went out, and my LED daytime running lights on my car started to flicker, which lets me know they're starting to go out. But honestly, you get what you pay for, so that's what I'm kind of dealing with right now. Those should be in this week. Everything going well, barring no issues, I will install those, and then I will do a walk around of my vehicle. My recent thought to do this video came from the fact that, one, I've got a pretty long drive, a bit of a drive. So it gave me an opportunity to talk about this comparison I want to do. Now, because my family is expanding, you know, I'm thinking in the near future, maybe in about a year and change or so, I'm probably going to need another vehicle, because while I can kind of do it now with the vehicle I got, I don't see this vehicle being able to do what I need it to do when it comes to this expansion of family in a coupe. But I'm also not sure if I want to do a SUV yet either. So I'm kind of looking at possibly a sedan. Now, there are a couple other things that I have to do prior to do this. This is why I'm giving it about a year out. However, if you're a car guy like me, you can't just have a regular nice little sedan. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with nice little sedans. You know, a Cruze, you can have a nice Cruze sedan. I'm actually passing the Cruze now. Actually looks pretty good in black. I haven't seen it in black, but now I've seen it in black. I kind of like it. But then a lot of cars are better to me in black. That's why I own a black car. But I'm a car guy. I can't just have a regular little knockabout sedan. Basically, daddy needs to be able to do some burnouts when the little one is not in the car. So I'm thinking, if someone was in this situation, what kind of car would they look at that would give them the ability to get around and do the things they need to do with their family, but when they're by themselves, still not feel like they went from all this horsepower and all this good feeling they had and then move over to a little knockabout sedan. And there's not, like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't think I fit that box. So I started doing a little research and started looking around for two vehicles I could compare. And I figured, well, I'm a GM guy, so why don't I at least start in the house of GM? Hold on, I'm about to get by this person because they're driving like incredibly slow and it's really ticking me off. So I wanted to look at two vehicles. The Cadillac ATS V and the Chevy SS. Now, why these two? First off, price. Now, I know you're going to say, well, there's like a 15-20 grand difference between these two vehicles. LT, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, you're right. There is, if you buy them brand spanking new. However, if you get them used, you're looking anywhere on average, especially if you're dealing with a 15 or 16 Cadillac ATS V, depending on how it is, you're looking at about the same price range as a 16 or maybe 17 Chevy SS, about that 45 to 47,000, no more than $50,000 range. Okay, so let's start with the Chevy SS. Chevy SS has a V8. We can stop right there. No, I'm just kidding. The Chevy SS is one of the few sedans that has a V8 in the power plant. And we haven't seen something that awesome since the Pontiac G8, which the Chevy SS basically replaced. Okay? In fact, car history, the 2010 Chevy Camaro is based off the same platform as the Pontiac G8. It's just got two doors and it had a much nicer body line, although the Pontiac G8 was also very nice looking. Don't get me wrong. And we'll come back to that aesthetics. We'll come back to that in a minute. Independent rear suspension, quad exhaust, depending on the year you buy, but you buy it, 14 or 15. It has a single exhaust, but hey, it's a Chevy. You can pretty much mod the thing out. It's like a Tonka toy. It's easy to do. But what I loved about it, especially in 2015 versus 14, was you have the option for a transmission change, sunroof, and the color. And whether you wanted a full-size spare or you wanted the little the fix-a-flat thing or whatever. Those were the only options you had or have for the Chevy SS. And I love that, especially the transmission part. Because if I wanted to do a manual, which a lot of YouTube reviewers have said that's the one to get, you can have your sedan in a 6-speed manual and you can enjoy having that much more control on your vehicle. That's why I have a manual in my car. More control and less expensive. But that's the Chevy SS. Now, flipping to the other side of the house, we've got the Cadillac ATS V. Now, the Cadillac ATS V has a twin-turbo V6 doing about, as the brochure says, 464 horsepower. That's more than likely at the crank, not at the wheel. However, that's still good numbers for a twin-turbo V6. Plus, you've got all the luxury of a Cadillac. Nice seats. You've got some space. In the V series, you get all that extra oomph, and you get that better styling. It looks more aggressive. It looks more fierce. It looks like one of those vehicles that's like, hey, this guy's driving a sedan. I'm probably going to want to get the hell out the way because he looks like a bullet standing still, and he looks like he might kill me moving. So you definitely love the styling, or at least I definitely love the styling of the Cadillac ATS V. Now, let's talk about some disadvantages here when we compare these two vehicles. Now, everything about the Chevy SS, I love. I'm probably one of the few people that when you first saw the Chevy SS, you immediately fell in love with the Chevy SS, regardless of its styling, even though that is the biggest disadvantage of the Chevy SS. You can put that sucker next to a Malibu, not the current Malibu, the previous model Malibu, and you may not be able to tell the difference unless you are a true car guy or you happen to be very detail oriented and you can see those kind of differences. Hate to say it, that's what it is though. The Chevy SS, its biggest disadvantage is that it looks like a Malibu. Yeah, it's got a haunch stance. Yes, it's got that stance where it kind of looks like a hot rod coming up in the back a little bit. Yeah, it's got those wide flares, and you love that, and you love the power plant. And I mean, when you turn that thing over, whether you got the regular single exhaust from a 1415 or you've got that quad exhaust coming off of a 1617, it sounds incredible. But it looks like a Malibu. It looks like you paid $45,000 for, remember I said, that little run-of-the-mill sedan? That's what it looks like. However, I can't present a problem without presenting a possible solution. The fact that it looks like a sleeper, like a Malibu, can be to your benefit, unless you're dealing with other car guys. If somebody wants to kind of try to handle you on the road and they see you and they're like, oh, he's got a little Malibu, he's making a little noise, let me show him what I'm talking about. And the next thing you know, they're wondering how they got beat because you just gave them the business in a V8. And hey, that's good too. You know, But it's the styling. It's honestly the styling that really kind of hurts me a little bit, because it's a great car. It's an absolutely great car. I think it's one of the best low price in my opinion, V8 powered sedans, or probably the only V8 powered sedan on the market that will not run you for your entire pockets. Because we're not even going to talk about the Cadillac ATS V. That is just rude. Mind you, I love the whole setup. I love that the ATS V has the Z06 power plant. I love that they gave it more horsepower. I love every aspect about it except the headlights. Something about that bugs me. However, the rest of it is completely and totally awesome. Let's move over to the Cadillac ATS V. Now, the Cadillac ATS V, a lot of the problems I have with the Chevy is pretty much resolved on the ATS V, with the exception of two things. One, it's not a V8. Hey, you know what? I'm a V8 guy. However, twin turbo V6 doing 464, I'm okay with that, because that means I can drive that thing, you know, with no issues, and probably save more on gas than I would in my current car, which has a V8. However, I do tend to save pretty good money on gas with this thing. Whoop, tire in the road. That was almost a bad day. I can save, like I can get from Maryland to Philly on less than a, you know, which is where I am, is basically a 2-hour drive, on less than actually about a half of a quarter tank. So is that an eighth tank? I don't know. We're not talking math, we're talking cars. But basically I can get that. So that's good. It's really driving around the city, the local driving, that does my car in. But I have no issues with that, really. It's a disadvantage, I think, for me, because I'm a V8 guy, but that's just my personal thing. For someone else, it's perfectly fine. I don't have any issues with V6s, by the way. We're not getting into that V6, V8 discussion. I already did that. Check my playlist. You know, you can check my very first video on Horsepower Everyday. We talked about V6 versus V8. You can deal with all that there. The other aspect about the Cadillac ATS V that I wish I could change, it's the Q system. However, whatever they call that, whatever the acronym for that is, the CUE, the Q system, I hate that system. Any Cadillac I have been in, test drove, somebody owned, and I just wanted to hang with them and try this stuff out, they all say the same thing. They absolutely love their Cadillac, but they hate the Q system. The Q system just sucks. It sucks so bad. I'm like, how in the world do you sit here and have people pay exuberant amounts of money? Not to mention, if you buy a Cadillac brand new, you're talking about $60-something thousand or more if you add options. But how in the world do you allow people to spend that kind of money and give them a cracktastic system like this? My stereo in my 2010 Camaro with the Timex Indiglo display here does so much better than a Cadillac Q system. It sucks. It absolutely sucks. Even with some of the features that it benefits. It has the little capacitive touch, you know, that you can scroll with the volume and all of that, slide your finger and all that good stuff. Still, it's craptastic. The display is bad. Everything, when you touch it, doesn't respond quickly enough. Like, we live in that world. You ever seen that Starbucks commercial where someone's like,
"Could I have a medium latte, please?"
Sure.
And the person's like,
"Excuse me?
Yeah.
Where's my latte?"
"Oh, chick, you just ordered it." That's the kind of world we live in. If I'm touching a screen or I'm sliding my finger on something and things are not moving to the pace that I want, it sucks. If I could, I would have that Cadillac ATS V and just shove a Chevy MyLink in that sucker and say, "Yep, it's got a Chevy MyLink in it, but it's a better system." You got a problem with it? Hey, screw you. I want better technology. And to me, the Chevy MyLink system is much better. I don't know what GM was thinking. I don't even know if they just kind of took the MyLink system and tried to merge it over and finagle it a little bit and make it a nice, cute entertainment system, but it sucks. It's garbage. But those are the kind of things that I'm thinking about. So my question to you, my horsepower community, is, if you're in that kind of situation and you need to get a sedan that still makes you feel like you still are a car enthusiast and you're not getting those run-of-the-mill sedans. What's going on, good people? I'm Tyrone, and I'm in the middle of editing the video you're watching right now, which means LT couldn't finish his video in its entirety thanks to his crappy GoPro Hero 5, which means we'll have to budget him a new camera in the immediate future. But his question for the horsepower community was, if you were in the same situation and you were wanting to pick a sedan that gave you that thrilling feeling, which one would you pick? The Chevy SS or the Cadillac ATS V? Leave your comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. It's all about that horsepower. Peace.